You know that feeling when someone shows up for you just when you need it most? That's what Uber is all about. Not just a ride or dinner at your door. It's how Uber helps you show up for the moments that matter. Because showing up can turn a tough day around or make a good one even better. Whatever it is, big or small, Uber is on the way. So you can be on yours. Uber, on our way.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
There's this safety feature built into your house, and it's there to keep your house from burning down. It's called the circuit breaker. It keeps your circuits from overheating and burning the place down. Well, the stock market also has circuit breakers, and in their modern form, they used to apply just to the Dow, but then they realized the Dow was a terrible, terrible indicator of the market. So now it's based on the S&P 500. For the first time in history, the circuit breaker kicked in on the S&P 500, and it's a circuit breaker that clicks in when the market declines 7%, as it did early this morning, Monday morning, when I'm recording this. Well, it's actually Monday afternoon. I'm getting ready to head out on a road trip, so I'm doing the podcast early today. I'll be on the road the rest of the day, so I don't know how it closes, but right now, the circuit breaker worked. Well, the S&P 500 is still off a whopping, gigantic 6%. And the Dow and almost everything else, pretty similar. The declines are very large historically. They are certainly frightening. I don't blame people for being scared, but I want to give you two pieces of advice. I have the advice for the younger members of our audience and advice for the older members of our audience. And for those of you in between, you got to find a happy medium. Now, here's the advice. 1, if you are young, and by young, I mean 20 years from retirement. That throws a lot of people into the young category. You should actually, if you have a heavily stock invested portfolio and you're adding money and you're going to be adding money for the next 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50 years, these declines are just wonderful. As a matter of fact, they're awesome. It's like buying stocks at a huge sale. We're approaching a 15% off sale. So if you're young, don't even think about this. The only thing you should be thinking about is we're going to get a little more money to buy some more because someday they're going to go up. Do I know when? No. Do I know how far they'll fall? No. Does anybody? Absolutely not. Now, if you are approaching, very close to, or in retirement, your portfolio needs to be built for your ability to handle markets like this. If it isn't, then you're not really investing. You're speculating. If you're thinking, oh, I should have gotten out, or I should get out now and I'll get back in later, you're a speculator. You're not an investor. Your portfolio should be built for a worst-case scenario of X. Perfect example. Worst case scenario of a 50% loss. That's about what you can expect if you're 100%, or at least based on history, 100% in the global stock market. So if that's uncomfortable, if 50% is uncomfortable for you, then you shouldn't be in a portfolio of stocks, 100% stocks. And then the numbers go down from there. You shouldn't have less than about 10% of your portfolio in stocks. But unless you're young, you probably shouldn't have 100 either. The right amount is somewhere in between. Go to talkingrealmoney.com, take our risk quiz so that you can get this right for the next time this happens. If you're panicking right now and you feel like your portfolio isn't comfortable for you, then you don't have the right portfolio for your risk tolerance. Find out what your risk tolerance is. It is free. There is no obligation. There is no sales pitch. I promise you those things. Free, no obligation, no sales pitch. You can't go wrong. We provide it as a service. So go check that out and hang in there. That's all I can tell you to do is just hang in there. Don't play the market's games. Don't panic. The news is bad, but the news has been bad before. You know that. You've been around for a little while. You know that this stuff happens. You know that it was just 15 months ago. Just about 15 months ago, less than a year and a half ago, that the U.S. stock market, the S&P 500, the measure of the big, broader index, fell 20%. That was just a little while ago, and it was soon forgotten. Now, will this be similar? I don't know. I do not know. We just have to wait and see. But it will eventually end. That I'm confident of, but can't guarantee. And we're going to answer one question today before I have to hit the road. This is one I want to get answered right away before the questioner does something they will regret. Now, if you'd like to send a question to be answered on the podcast, send it via talkingrealmoney.com. Go to the contact form or call your question in. Leave it on our voicemail system. We'll work it into a future podcast. That number, 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255, or go to talkingrealmoney.com. And the topic of this question is retirement investing. Here's the question. I have worked with an LPL investment agent for 5 to 6 years. Recently, I had questions about my RMD, but got no clear advice. Other issues were arising with him, so I began to search for another advisor within the LPL agency. I'll come back to that, yeah. After my screenings, I felt I had secured a new agent. However, after signing off on the chain, she began to suggest that I move 2/3 of my retirement savings into an annuity, Allianz Core Income 7. Oh, I had a small annuity a few years ago and felt it was not doing what the advisor said it would. Oh, big surprise. I'm very nervous about giving over nearly $300,000. So I am very interested in your thoughts. Oh, thank you for asking the question before you did it. You're going to be so much happier that you did this than did what that person told you to do. That person is one of those people who I find less than honorable. That's the word that's the phrase I'm going to use. Less than honorable. Let's start with a couple of things. One, I am not a big LPL fan. LPL is Linsco Private Ledger. Many years ago, because I'm old, they approached me about starting my own brokerage firm with them clearing the trades. They're a firm where anybody with a pulse, pretty much, who can pass the tests, can be an agent, as you call them, or an advisor, which is a term that means nothing. So here it is in a nutshell. 1, I don't like LPL very much. 2, this agent is suggesting an indexed annuity, the most hated form of annuity in my book. This Allianz annuity is an indexed annuity. That means it's going to play like it's giving you some of the returns of the stock market when the market goes up and not lose you anything when it goes down, which in a market like this, to most people is like, yeah, hallelujah, I'm not losing. Problem is, when it goes up, you're not gaining either because they cap you. They give you a percentage. They've got these complex formulas behind the scenes that keep you from making anywhere near what the market makes when it goes up. And your average returns on most of these, according to all kinds of studies done, somewhere around the 3% range, which isn't terrible, but it's not great. Now, the agent absolutely adores this product. They adore it for one excellent reason. a ginormous commission. And a ginormous commission that they could do this with. Ready? If you go to your little agent woman and you say, how much is the commission? She'll say to you, oh, there is no commission. You don't pay me, the company does. Uh-huh. That's not the truth. The company does pay her, but it's not the whole truth. Let's say you decided, I want to get out of this year. Well, they've already paid her a commission. So if you want to get out, they're going to charge you 8.5% to get out. Now, why are they going to charge you 8.5% to get out? It's probably because they just paid that agent an 8% commission. 8%. It'll be years before you make back 8%. Years. And they walked away with a cool $25,000 gross commission. Trust me, that's your money. Yeah, they love selling these things because the commissions are just huge. My advice is that you fire this advisor. But if you don't want to, go to TalkingRealMoney.com and download the advisor interview form and ask them to fill it out. And sign it. And sign that they're a fiduciary. Guarantee she won't do it. Then you can fire her. Then you need to find yourself a 100% fiduciary advisor. 100% all the time fiduciary advisor who does not ever charge commissions. That's one of the definitions of a 100% fiduciary advisor. If they sell commissioned or commissionable products, they are not one of those. That eliminates almost every major brokerage firm in America. That eliminates the every insurance company in America as a place to invest. It leaves you with only a handful. As a matter of fact, MarketWatch did some number crunching and found that, get this, 1%, about 1% of financial advice providers in the United States are always required to act in your best interests. So go download the advisor interview form. We have a list of advisors that we know are fee only. These are not recommendations, but we've done some vetting just to make sure that they kind of believe what we believe. We're not saying we're the best. We're saying there are better ones. And go to TalkingRealMoney.com and look them up. But please don't get into this indexed annuity. You will rue the day you did, and your agent will be having a big old party as she goes out and picks up her new Lexus. Well, that, along with money from a couple other commissions. 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255 is our number. You can call that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can send in your questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at TalkingRealMoney.com. You can watch our videos at TalkingRealMoney.com. If you find yourself on edge, you want to talk to somebody about your portfolio particularly, and you don't want to do it on the air, go to TalkingRealMoney.com, set up an appointment with one of our advisors. They'll help you out, I promise. Not for the rest of your life, just one time. They will help you, and they will do it without cost, and they will do it without a sales pitch. So you're not going to get bothered, okay? Promise. This is not like going to a timeshare sales pitch or something, or a stockbroker. Let's see. Anything else? I'll check the markets one more time just because I'm hitting the road in a few minutes. Let's see. The S&P down 6. Okay. That stinks, but it's not as bad as 7. Thanks so much for listening. We'll do this again real soon. I'm Don McDonald.
Talking real money. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. That should keep the lawyers happy.